So Messi has now made his Inter Miami debut, albeit in the Leagues Cup with the MLS debut still to come. So I've simulated the final few years of his career in FM23 to see how it all pans out. So before we get into the video, just pause for a second, scroll down to the comments and let me know what impact you think Messi is going to have in the MLS and how well you expect him to do at Inter Miami in this FM23 simulation. So once the Messi deal was announced, I went into the FM editor and I made a file that scheduled his transfer from PSG to Inter Miami to happen in the summer of 2023. So I've loaded that file up. I've also loaded up my Copa America file, which changes it to the format that's going to come into play next year in 2024. 16 teams taken from South and North America. So a quick plug here, if you want access to my Messi in MLS file or the Copa America expanded tournament, head over to my Patreon or become a channel member here on YouTube to get access. So here we are in the game now, July the 1st, 2023. In terms of the leagues I've got loaded, we've got all the North American leagues loaded. We've got France as well, and we've got Spain and Argentina because I think those leagues offer the most likely destinations for Messi should he leave Inter Miami and have a couple of seasons elsewhere. Now, although his contract officially expires in-game on the 30th of June 2023, he's still listed here as a PSG player, albeit with the transfer arranged. We can see that joining Inter Miami on the 12th of July. I set that date because it matches the in-game registration date for international signings. So I've jumped forward now to July 13th, 2023, and it's here. It's the headline news. Inter Miami sign the GOAT Messi. Though for some reason the game thinks Olympic Lyon's new managerial appointment is bigger news. Now you see here the game has decided that there's a transfer fee involved. I don't know why it's done that because I did say it was an end of contract move, but you know, it shouldn't have an impact on anything. So here is Messi's Inter Miami profile. Now I just added this move in. In terms of a contract, I left those details up to the game. So we see the game's put him on £165,000 a week, nearly 50% of Inter Miami's wage bill, and I've given him a contract right through to the end of the 2026 season, so hopefully he's going to stick around for the 2026 World Cup as well. So at the time of Messi joining, we see Inter Miami here are just outside the playoff spots in the MLS Eastern Conference. Significantly better than they're doing in real life at the moment. But yeah, let's jump ahead to the end of 2023 and see how Messi's first few months in MLS went. Well, first of all, we see Inter Miami managed to bag that final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference, but didn't go any further than the first playoff round, losing 2-1 to Atlanta United. With Messi, well, look at this, turning in a 6.1 performance and getting subbed off with 15 minutes to play. Now going back to when Messi joined Inter Miami in mid-July, somewhat annoyingly the full match details are not available. Even though in the detail level I set all MLS games, all Leagues Cup and CONCACAF Champions League games to be full detail. So yeah, we can't see which game he made his debut in, but we can see that he scored twice, first goal coming in a 3-1 win over Nashville, and his other goal coming in a 2-0 regular season win over Atlanta. We can see that goal though because Messi won the Goal of the Week award for it. And we see here it's a trademark Messi curling free kick, a lot like his debut goal for Inter Miami in real life. Now looking at his stats for the season, we just scroll down to the detailed stats here. We see in MLS 8 appearances, 2 goals and 2 assists, an average rating of 7.09, so pretty good. And ignore the fact that here there's 2 Major League Soccer entries. One is for the overall competition, one is just for the league section, the Supporters' Shield. But yeah, this is a bit the opposite to what's happened in real life. Not doing too well in the Leagues Cup, only the 3 appearances there as Inter Miami were eliminated in the group stage and an average rating of 6.53. So overall an underwhelming start, but let's go to the end of 2024, see how Messi did in his first full season in MLS. Well, we see the club have done better overall this time, finishing 5th in the Eastern Conference, but again falling at the first hurdle in the playoffs as they lost to Philadelphia, a result made extra frustrating by the fact that they beat Philadelphia 2-0 just the previous week in the final game of the regular season. Messi on the score sheet for that one as well. Now looking again at the stats for this season, Messi did better overall, 30 league appearances. Again, only 2 goals, but this time 13 assists. The average rating though, 6.95, so not that great. Did better in the Leagues Cup. Now he only made 3 appearances. Part of that is because he was away during the summer for the Copa America, but 3 assists and an average rating of 6.27. Now, if we go into the overall league stats, we see obviously he's nowhere near the top scorer charts, but in terms of assists, this time he's joint second in the league, and he's also third for key passes, but again, nowhere to be seen for pass completion or dribbles made. Now, as mentioned earlier, Messi did miss a few games mid-season to go and play for Argentina in the Copa America. Well, he shouldn't have bothered really, as the defending champions, the World Cup holders, crashed out in the group stage. Yep, they started off alright with a win over Panama, but then a draw against Paraguay and a disastrous defeat at Chile, all leading to Messi retiring from the international game. So let's skip ahead a year to the end of 2025 and see if he's retired yet from club football. Well, no, not yet. He's still here, still at Inter Miami, who have had their best season with Messi yet. Second in the Eastern Conference table and fifth overall in the Supporters' Shield. But if we scroll down here to the end of season playoffs, yet again we see they fall at the first hurdle, this time a 1-0 home defeat to New England, though this time it seems Messi wasn't even playing. Yeah, so checking the injury list, it seems he was out at that point with a groin strain. But overall, if we look at his stats, we see for the first time in MLS, he broke into double figures with goals. 11 goals in 33 appearances. Not so great on the assists this time with 7, but a 6.85 average rating is just not turning in the performances in the league in this simulation. Now, he did pick up another Goal of the Week award for this fine control and shoot effort against Minnesota, but that is all he has to show for his time in Florida so far. He hasn't even been picked for the MLS All-Stars yet. So let's venture into 2026 and see if things pick up. Now, as you might see here, I've jumped back in mid-season, July 2026. Not because of the World Cup, and not because Messi has retired mid-season or anything like that. Quite the opposite, in fact. If we look at his contract details, we see he's extended his stay at Inter Miami to the end of 2027. Now, he has taken a bit of a pay cut here. He's come off a designated player contract, lost all of his bonuses, but it looks like he may have a little bit further to run in this simulation. Or maybe not, as it's now November 2026, end of the MLS season. And if we put Messi into the search bar at the top, we see the GOAT is no longer a player. He's here as a manager. He's retired from the game. All right, but if we look at his career stats and we pull up his final season here, that 2026 MLS season, we see he got 32 appearances in the league, 9 goals and 7 assists, an average rating of 6.82. Yeah, so kind of in fitting with the rest of his time here. Now, Inter Miami, 5th in the Eastern Conference this time. And yeah, you've guessed it, they were knocked out in the first round of the playoffs. So that means Messi's last game was in front of just 17,500 fans at the Yankee Stadium. Now, Messi did actually get to play in and score in the CONCACAF Champions League group stage, but he's not going to see that competition through because it will continue into the spring of 2027. But there you go. Football Manager has spoken. It seems that Messi's time in MLS, well, it's set to be more Gerrard than Beckham, more Lampard than Henry. So what do you think? Is that realistic? Or do you think Messi's golden touch will follow him over to Inter Miami? Well, let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.